welcome back to my channel, Side Hustle Seattle. So first of all, I hope you can hear me because I'm outside. It's a beautiful day, so I was like, oh, I might as well just film this on my balcony. But anyways, I wanted to recap my NNA 2022 conference experience because it just happened this past week. It was in Las Vegas. It was like Sunday through Tuesday. And so I got back this week and I had the best time. And so I just wanted to recap that experience because honestly, it was such a surreal experience for me. So the NNA hit me up. This was like fall of last year. This had to be like October, September-ish of last year. They hit me up and they're like, hey, we've seen your videos. We're looking for somebody to speak about Ron. Do you want to do it? I'm like, ooh, and like immediately imposter syndrome sets in. I was like, ooh, should I be speaking at a conference about Ron stuff when I've only ever really spoken about it on YouTube? And I'm like, you know what? It's a great experience. I shouldn't pass it up. I'm gonna do it. So I hit him back up. I was like, yes, I'll do it 100%. It wasn't until earlier this year, maybe like February, March, that I actually wrote my slides. So they're like, hey, we want you to present on Ron, maybe talk about some Ron platforms, compare some. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like I can do I can do that, sure, yeah. Like I talk a lot about Ron platforms, like I know Ron platforms, it shouldn't be that hard. But it's like when you're trying to write your slides and figure out what exactly people would like enough to listen to me talk about, it's freaking hard. And so I went in and at first I wrote like the longest slide deck of a bunch of different Ron platforms. And I was like, that's gonna be so boring because you're just gonna literally be like listing out stuff all the time. So I was like, okay, let me do more of like a quality over quantity. So I pared it down, really picked like 6 to 8 platforms that I thought were diverse enough for me to kind of let people know what was available and kind of how they're structured. It wasn't exhaustive. I didn't pick like specific ones on purpose. I think I just wanted a diverse mix so people who are new into the Ron space just kind of knew what kind of platforms were out there. So when I did my presentation, I talked about like what Ron is, different categories of platforms like independent, hybrid, you know, contractor, enterprise, that kind of thing, and then some platforms that kind of fall into each bucket. And so that's how I wrote my slides. And then fast forward, you know, 3 months later, here the actual conference comes. And so I fly out on Sunday because technically like you get there Sunday for registration and to do like the kickoff and things like that. So I get in on Sunday. Vegas was so hot, like like I'm from LA, so I've been to Vegas 1,000 times, but you forget how hot it was. Like it was 105 degrees. It was getting to 110 on some days. I was like, oh no, like, oh no, I'm not gonna make it. And so I'm probably have like a crazy tan right now because obviously in Colorado, it's nowhere near that hot right now. But I was dying. But where they hosted the conference at was the Green Valley Ranch Resort. Was absolutely beautiful. It's off the strip. It had its own like casino. It was a big space. The pool area was gorgeous. The room was nice. And so I had like a great time when I got there. Once I got there, I registered, got my like wristband, little badge that said first time NNA, conference attendee. I met Susie, who was the person I was communicating with from the NNA most of the time, and a few other people that were also there to present. So I met Vanessa Terry, who does Notary to Notary. She was there and we were kind of getting a tour of the event space where we would both be speaking, what that would look like. And so she took me around to the room that I was going to be speaking on the first day because I was presenting twice. And it was so pretty. It was so pretty. It was so beautiful. It was set up nice. And I was like, oh, like my heart started racing. So I was like, I started getting nervous, really. I was like, oh my gosh, please no. Like, don't let me have to speak in front of this many people. And the thing is, public speaking does not make me nervous. It was just that like sense of that people are looking at me as like an expert, and I was like, ooh, I hope I don't let y'all down, say nothing crazy. But after she showed me the room, I just kind of like walked around, kind of saw the space out, and then there was a like cocktail hour towards the end of that night, and that was cool. So I met a bunch of you all who have said like, oh, I watched your video, can I get a picture, can I get a hug, all that. So that was a dope experience. It was a little cocktail hour, kind of walk into some groups of people, kind of see what's up. And that was nice for me because I came alone. So like, I came by myself, and like, yes, I know some people within the notary space, but none of them went to the NNA conference. So I was kind of like trying to find, you kind of try to find your group in your way, but I met like pockets of people that I was like, yeah, I can kick it with you, kick it with you. So it was like, everybody was so cool, so calm. And so that was kind of the first night. And then the second day was the day that I was presenting. So I was like, I just need to spend the morning learning my slides because the thing about it is like I wrote them so many months ago one, I don't even remember them. I'm like, what did I write? And two, whatever I did write is probably wrong now, because how much these platforms change, like what they're doing and what the cost is and everything else. Like I need to re-look at them to make sure it's even relevant. And so I went through like the kickoff in the morning, that was at like, 9 to 10 a.m. And then I just spent this next 3 hours literally just like rehearsing my slides and like double checking all my information, just like making sure everything was right. And then 1 o'clock hit and it was like time for me to present, and I was so nervous, but I like filmed myself kind of going into it so you guys can see all what the setup was, and it was legit. So I got there, they did a little sound check, I had a mic, they had lights on me, they recorded it, so that way if you went to the conference and you have the app, you can actually go back and re-watch those presentations. I have not done a presentation like this in a very long time. Like 30 minutes prior to this presentation, or prior to now, I was just like studying my presentation. I'm like, oh my God, hopefully this goes well. And I'm not stuttering too much, but I feel good about it. Let's do it. I thought I was gonna be a lot more nervous than I was. And I was maybe for like the first 2 minutes or so, but like once I started talking, I was like, no, I feel like I know this. I talk about it 1,000 times. Like there's really nothing on these slides that I don't know. And that helped out. Also Amy from Cyberize It was there, which was cool. So it's nice to see like a familiar face in the audience, but it was a good crowd of people. Presentation was like an hour, which I was like, ooh, it's a long time to fill. But then there's a lot of great questions. So overall, like it was a great experience. People came over after and asked me some personal questions. I kind of walked through the crowd, and so I loved that. And so that night, the NNA, so there's a couple different there's a bunch of different vendors there, right? Like the Notarize was there, shout out to Notarize, of course. There was Secured Signing was there, Signix was there, Notary Cam was there, Loan Signing System was there, eNotary Log was there. Like there was so many people within like the electronic notarization, RON space, anything around that. Like most of the booths were geared towards that, and that's great to see, because I doubt that's what it was like in the past, right? And so it's nice to see how things have kind of shifted, and now that's kind of what people are trying to like promote and spin up and get people to buy into. So it was like really RON forward, honestly. Even with like other workshops, it was really RON forward, really IPIN forward, just really like e-notarization forward when it came to all that. But I went up to the Notarize booth, and they were having a happy hour that night, so they invited me, and they also like gave me some wristbands to invite some other people. And I was like, oh yeah, bet, because I had met a few like really cool people the previous night, so I like gave them some wristbands. We went to the event together, and it was so much fun. It was a really cool happy hour, and I met these 2 ladies from Seattle, Jamie and Jane, shout out to y'all. And we kicked it that night. We kicked it both nights, but they took me out to dinner. We just talked about Seattle and whatever else, and it was a lot of fun, and people were giving me so much love, and I thought it was just like a crazy experience. And so the last night, of course, I present again, but towards like one of the last sessions to present again, and the night ends with a gala, and the gala is like a full-on banquet. Give out awards, you give the 2022 Notary of the Year, you get the honorees, you like tell it's this big thing, and it was so well done, right? And it's like people are dressing up, but at this point I'm nervous, because you have to remember, like, I don't know if y'all know me, but I don't dress up. Like that's not what I like. I don't dress up. I'm a jeans and sneakers girl, jeans and t-shirt girl, joggers and t-shirt type of girl. Like that is what I do, that's what I enjoy. And so it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, like what am I gonna wear? Am I gonna be overdressed, underdressed? I don't know. And so I picked the one dress that I have in my closet, and I put it on, and it ended up working. But that was a lot of fun. So it was like a formal dinner, it was an open bar, there was dancing, all of that. And so I really enjoyed that. And at the end of it, I flew out like really early that next morning, and I wish I didn't do that. Because if you like go out that night before and then you like fly out early that next morning, and I went straight to work, so I was like, I don't really want to miss another day of work. I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like I just came back from Vegas. Like, that if you've ever been to Vegas, the day after you're like, yeah, that's Vegas for you. And so I was struggling, but I had the best time. And I honestly, like, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you all, and you all watching my videos, and you all supporting my channel, because the amount of people who came up and said they watched my videos and said they enjoyed my content, and asked for a hug, and just like asked for a picture, like everybody who just gave so much love, like this moment, this opportunity wouldn't have happened without you guys. And so I'm just thankful for everybody who watches my videos and continues to support. But anyways, that is my conference experience. Hopefully you enjoyed that. But anyways, if I saw you, first of all, shout out to you. If you came up to me, shout out to you. But anyways, thank you for watching my video as always, and I will catch you on the next one.